Hi, welcome to my channel and thank you for visiting. It's been quite some time. It was 10 months after my last video and I feel strange trying to make this video again. So if you watched my introduction, the one I made 3 years ago when I opened this tiny channel, I said I was going to do some videos on writing, but then AI came up and it's no longer essential to try to teach learners of English writing. I decided to shift to IELTS. This is more interesting. So this is passage 2 of test 1, IELTS 13. Why being bored is stimulating and useful too. Well, I never get bored because there's always something to do. Let's see. Uh, Before we proceed, I strongly suggest actually, that you need a copy of the passage. Have a paper, a hard copy or a digital copy of the passage before you follow my videos. Because I'm going to show you which paragraph and which line will you find the answers to each of the questions. Okay, so first, questions 14 to 19. The answer for number 14, which is paragraph A, it's number 4, Roman number 4. What is in Roman number 4? It's problems with a scientific approach to boredom. Where do you find the answer? It's in line 3. Let me, okay. Line 3, paragraph A. What does it say here? Here. Defining boredom so that it can be studied in a lab. Well, when you study in a lab, you are doing a scientific approach. But it says here, defining boredom as if it can be studied in a laboratory has proved difficult. Why? Because it can include a lot of other mental states, such as frustration, apathy, depression, and indifference. Now, these mental states are problems, and that's why the answer for paragraph A is number 4. All right? Number 15, that's paragraph B. So what's the correct heading for paragraph B? The answer is 6. What does it say in 6? Creating a system of classification for feelings of boredom. Where do you find the answer? It's in line 2. Have recently identified 5 distinct types. You see, like in the Cambridge exams, IELTS, they don't use the same words. In the question, in the answer, in Roman number 6, it says creating a system of classification. But in line 2 of paragraph B, you don't find the word classification. Instead, you find this word types. And then, to further prove that this is the answer, there are feelings of boredom, indifferent, calibrating, searching, reactant, and apathetic. That's why the answer in number 15, or the heading of paragraph B, is Roman number 6. A system of classification of feelings of boredom, for feelings of boredom. What about paragraph C, number 16? The answer is number 1. My students say, I. What is in number 1? The productive outcomes that may result from boredom. Where do you find the answer? It's in line 3, paragraph C. that being bored makes us more creative. When you are creative, then that is productive outcome. It also says something in line 7. Man concluded that a passive, boring activity is best for creativity because it allows the mind to wander. So there is a word creative here, creativity. This is adjective. This is a noun, and it comes from the same word, create. So when you create, you produce something. That's why productive outcome is creativity. Paragraph D, what's the heading? The heading for paragraph, the correct heading for paragraph D is number 5. And what is it? A potential danger arising from boredom. Where do you find the answer? In line 6, paragraph D, or paragraph 4. It says here, but even if boredom has evolved to help us survive, it can still be toxic if allowed to fester. So when it is toxic, it's dangerous. Something that's dangerous is toxic if allowed to fester or to become worse. Fester means to become worse. Paragraph E, or number 18. What's the heading? The correct answer is number 8. And what is that? Identifying those most affected by boredom. So who are most affected by boredom? This refers to people. So you find that in lines 2, 3, and 4. Boredom proneness has been linked to a variety of traits. Who are they? People who are motivated by pleasure. Personality traits such as curiosity are associated with a high boredom threshold. So those most affected refers to people who are motivated by pleasure and who are very curious. That's why the answer for 18 is number 8. 19, what's the heading? What's the correct heading for paragraph F? The answer is 3, number 3. A new explanation and a new cure for boredom. Where do you find the answer? It's on lines 2 and 4, paragraph F. Psychologists speculate that an over-connected lifestyle might even be a new source of boredom. So he said, perhaps we should leave our phones alone and use boredom to motivate us. So it's a new cure for boredom. Leave your phones alone. Can you leave your phones alone? Can you live without your phones? Well, I can, but not my students. Now, let's move on to question 20 and 23. Now, this is actually easy to answer. Why? Because you just look for the names that is given in the questions. There's a box in your paper. There's a box below with these people, these authors. So first, let's look for what does Peter Tohi says. So on the paper, on the hard copy or on the digital copy that you have now, just look for the paragraph where you find the name Peter Tohi. This is easy to find. The answer is easy to find. Just look for the name Peter Tohi and then read the paragraph and try to find the answer. The answer, what does Peter Tohi says? The answer is E. Boredom may encourage us to avoid an unpleasant experience. Here, line 7. In his book, you see, Peter Tohi is here, Peter Tohi is there. Compares it to disgust, an emotion that motivates us to stay away or to avoid. from certain situations. Unpleasant experience. Unpleasant experience is what he calls infectious social situations. So it's easy to avoid, to stay away. Peter, you find Peter here, you find Peter in paragraph A. That's how you find the answer in this kind of question. Now, next is another person, Thomas Goetz. What does Thomas Goetz say? Well, the answer is B. One sort of boredom is worse than all the others. Another word for sort, those are beginners, one sort of boredom, one type or one kind of boredom, one type of boredom. In line 7, you don't find the word sort, but you find the word type, types. The most damaging is reactant, worse than all. Worse than all. Well, you remember your lesson in adjectives that the superlative adjective has the word most, preceded by the article the. So the most damaging, worse than all. One sort of boredom is worse than all. Again, just look for Thomas Goetz in the paragraph, in the passage. Use your fingers and point line by line and look quickly for the name Thomas Goetz. And in that paragraph, you will find the answer. There's another one, John Eastwood. So where do you find John Eastwood? Look for it. John Eastwood at the bottom page. It's on paragraph D. What does he say? Trying to cope with boredom can increase its negative effects. So that's in line 9, paragraph D. Your efforts to improve the situation, to cope, to improve. To cope, to improve the situation can end up making you feel worse. When you feel worse, that means negative effects. And what are the examples of negative effects? Frustration and irritability. So there you are, synonyms. To cope, to improve, negative effect, feel worse. So what are these? Frustrations and irritability. Easy, isn't it? And the last, I think, is Franquam Wemmelsfelder. So, what does he say? The answer is A. The way we live today may encourage boredom. Line 1, paragraph F, our over-connected lifestyle might even be a new source of boredom. The way we live refers to lifestyle. May encourage boredom, might be a new source of boredom. Again, not this is IELTS not using the same words in the question and in the passage. So, but like Peter Tohi, just look for this name in the passage and you'll find the answer quickly. Now, responses to boredom, questions 24 onwards. There's no difficulty here because the answer word focus, you also find it in the passage. So people cannot focus due to a failure in the attention system. Here, inability to focus. A failure, inability, word cannot. 25. His team suggests that those for whom pleasure is an important aim in life may have problems. So you find that in line 1, paragraph E, Eastwood's team, of course, Eastwood, his team refers to Eastwood's team, is not trying to explore. People who are motivated by pleasure, you see the word pleasure here and pleasure here, seem to suffer particularly badly. Of course, those refer to people. 26. Whereas those who have the characteristic of curiosity can generally cope with it. Where do you find the answer? Line 4, paragraph E. Other personality traits such as curiosity are associated with a high boredom threshold. So I put there, low boredom threshold gets bored easily, but with high boredom threshold doesn't get bored easily. So you find the word curiosity here, and you also find the word curiosity. Any questions? That's the last. No questions? Okay. Get a paper, numbers 1 to write numbers 1 to 10, and answer the quiz. Ready? You need a paper. Oh, sorry, that should be number 2. Next. All right. Check your answers. Well done. Thank you for listening. And if you found the video useful, please share and subscribe. Thank you. See you in the next video. Bye.